good? Lucky Podcast. The ONORA boys in the building. We are brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And by the way, if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure you do it
responsibly.
You have to do it responsibly. Let's go. Lucky Podcast. ZAIRE, SHAUN data is brought to you by ONORA Whiskey. Notre Dame dominant win at home. Left, you were right. I doubted. You thought they were going to score a lot of points against the Stanford Cardinal. We'll talk about that. Give our overall review of the game and thoughts on the game. Malik is going to give his post-snap read about the offense and what we saw from Leonard in the passing game. Mike Denbrock, how we laid things out. And constantly going for it on fourth downs, the confidence they showed as a team. We'll hear from Howard Cross. We'll hear from Pat Coogan. We will hear from Marcus Freeman. We will hear from Leonard. Yo, it's a great recruiting weekend as well. Warren Central, offensive lineman, 4-star. Cameron Herron just flipped from Purdue to Notre Dame. That was pretty easy. He was on campus this weekend. He flipped. Jalen Cooper hearing good things about a potential flip coming from him. The SMU wide receiver commit, 4-star. So it was a huge recruiting weekend. Shout out to Elijah Burris, who was on campus. Creed Thomas, who was on campus. Yo, it was just good vibes all weekend. Understand, Stanford's a bad football team. They're better than Purdue, who, by the way, scared the bejesus out of me during the weather break because they were in overtime with my Illini.
Y'all Illini got something next week with Michigan. What y'all doing with that?
Bro, I don't know, man.
Y'all got Michigan next week now.
He has outplayed expectations this year, but Luke Altmaier is just not that dude. But he wasn't the problem Saturday, bro. Giving up 49 points to Purdue. Giving up 49 points to Purdue was absolutely
on a backup OC.
That would have made Ryan Walters' entire year to come back to Illinois and win that game.
Well, nothing's worse than what you seeing with with good old dang, I just lost it. Oh, Ohio State lose another big game. That's what you
Thank you. Left the week. Wait, Notre Dame fans, please give us 5 minutes. Wait. Apple Podcast, Spotify.
Yes.
All these edibles every day. TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Lucky Pod. Lucky Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. We are the home of the misguided passion, and we are forever committed to making sure that we
spit it different.
There we go. We got the intro out the way. We're going to get to Notre Dame real fast.
One moment.
We're going to get to Notre Dame. Let me say, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Ohio State game, man.
20 million can't buy you. No.
Can't buy you to win.
You thought the money and fame would make you go away? No. Kendrick told you. Oh, Ryan Day, you thought the money and the fame would make the fact that you're a horrible coach?
Horrible in the clutch. And Dan Lanning ain't no better except he played Ohio State, who happens to be a little bit worse.
Both terrible.
They both terrible, except Ryan Day's just a little worse. That's why Dan Lanning got so excited. He's like, finally, another big game, non-big game coach I can win against. I can't do against DeBoer and Michael Penix because that they too good. Which DeBoer is hanging on by a string. He about to give up 4 more of these.
Got the job done. That's all he got. Got the job done.
He's smiling with a 3-point victory over South Carolina. I already know what's
one step closer to paying up on that bet. That's all that matters. But back to Dan Lanning. No, forget Dan Lanning. Forget
Dan Lanning. Brian Day's 1-7 self.
Brian Day, Jim Harbaugh told you about yourself.
He told you
a long time ago, dude. You were born on second base.
You were born on second base.
Nobody believes in you. You're on the hot seat, bro. You're on the hot seat.
Has to be.
You're on the hot seat.
Has to be.
I see at least one more loss.
Yep.
I see at least one more loss for the Ohio State team. And it's a shame. You know why? You know why it's a shame? Because those wide receivers are darn near unstoppable. Hey, Darnell, unstoppable. That trio, the catch Carnell and Jeremiah both had on that last drive. Now that was offensive pass interference. He pushed him a little bit too hard.
I mean, it's 5 yards. It's within 5 yards.
But he's a big dude too, so it's kind of like defending Shaq.
The
dude is that big and he kind of pushes you. Did the DB exaggerate a little bit? Maybe he might.
No, he's big. The other Jeremiah,
he's just a big dude.
Yeah, he's
just a big dude. He's just a big dude. That's all it is. And once again, that quarterback can't get it done. Real hard. What are you doing? Everybody, the speed out at the bottom of the screen of Jeremiah was wide open. 5 yards speed out.
Good enough for him.
50 yard. All you had to do was kick a 50-yard field goal. You win the game. No. You didn't want to see that Trevion Henderson is right there for the dump off, right there where he can go down for a 5-yard game. No, you knew how much time. You decide to run.
He's a mo.
And then I forgot.
Yeah, dummy, come on. There's only one play.
But he's a reflection of his coach. He's a reflection of his coach. His coach could have said the last thing, you can't run. You cannot run. Get rid of the ball or else throw it away.
And he held on to it. It wasn't even like a quick decision. He just got it like it was a regular play. It was over after he crossed the line of scrimmage. The game was over. He let that free space be an optical illusion, not looking at the time. And then he slid. Hell, you should have looked up and seen it was over and kept going. He slid with 0 time on the clock. It is a reflection of the head coach.
All right, dude. I gotta pause my slander for this is tough, bro. Marcus Freeman just told the media that Benjamin Morrison is out for the year.
But what?
With a hip injury that requires surgery.
Damn, what happened to him?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all during the game.
That must be precautionary.
Yeah, no. He's out for the season. This ain't precautionary, bro. I mean, he's just out for the season. I don't want to speculate, bro. I don't want to speculate. We know B-Mo is going to the league. That's
what I'm saying. That's why I'm thinking it's because of that.
Nah,
you're saying it's a legitimate.
No, he just told it. He just said it. It requires surgery.
But he never left the game. ACLs, you can't finish the game. Major hip injuries like this.
Well, none of the starters played the fourth quarter.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they went back to the locker room and yeah, man.
Hip surgery.
No, this season for injuries for this defense has been absolutely stupid, bro.
So I'm trying to think if it's nothing that he got pulled out the game with, it's got to be a soft tissue injury like the ACLs we've been seeing.
I'm not gonna do that either. I'm not gonna do that either. I don't know what happened, bro. I have to go back and watch because I can't visualize him limping during the game, favoring it during the game.
That's what I'm saying. How is it that bad if he didn't leave the game? I'm not saying how's it that bad.
Stop misinterpreting what we said, dude. We didn't say anything about the kicker, dude. There was a 5-yard speed out open at the bottom. We understand that you wanted 5 yards. Trevion Henderson was right in front of you for 5 yards. Right off the snap. Stop misinterpreting what we say. The last thing you do in that situation is run the ball as the quarterback. Ryan Day is a goofy because he should have told his quarterback, you can't do this. And he should have called routes that were shorter. If you watch all the wide receivers, they ran deep routes. That's the issue.
End of the game.
Coaching. That's the issue. Coaching. He's a horrible coach. He's a horrible situational coach, and it gets exposed
every time
and time again.
By Georgia.
Horrible. He's horrible. He's horrible. He's horrible.
By Georgia.
Somebody actually broke down. No, I watched an Ohio State podcast break down the film on one of the touchdowns to SHAUN early before he got kicked out. It was 39. They literally put left. They rushed 2 defenders. They had a 2-man pass rush. They dropped all 4 defensive linemen left and blitzed the 2 linebackers on 39. Which means you have 9 people in coverage left, and they allowed a deep pass over their heads. So don't talk. Ryan Day and his teams, they're terrible, bro. They're terrible. But back to Ben Morrison. How bad is this, Left? Because we felt like Charles Jagasaw. No, yeah, you can get it from both sides. Because you talk to him, you spend time with him this summer, this camp out in Arizona. How bad is it? Because I don't want to overreact.
Well, for it to be something where we finding out now and it wasn't during the game, I don't know how extensively bad it could be. I'm thinking more like how Kyle Hamilton got injured and it was like, I think I'll just sit out for the rest of the year. You know, like I'm sure if it was a surgery where he could come back in a few weeks, sure. If it was a surgery where it may take a few months, you can get in at the playoffs, he's probably like, let me not even trip over that and just take the full season, which goes back to my same agreement and argument about Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, I mean, he's done his service for Notre Dame, and I think in a lot of cases we have the depth for guys to have the next man in mentality and still get good experience in a season where it's not lost. We still got a lot to gain. But for a guy like Ben Morrison, how much more does he need to prove? So, you know, just like Kyle Hamilton getting injured in the middle of the season and deciding to take the rest off, I hope this is the same severity of Ben Morrison's where, yeah, it requires surgery and all that, but it's not career threatening or first round threatening how Kyle's wasn't. You know, it doesn't sound like it's a Cam thing where Cam had to have a whole year off because he tore his ACL or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is more of like hopefully it's minor surgery, but it's better to just rest up for the rest of the foreseeable future, getting ready for the draft. And we talked about that also being Ben Morris's biggest impact on the team this year is being that first round pick. So this just fits into back to what I was saying again. Ben Morrison, his biggest recruiting efforts he can have for this team is to be a first round corner. That's it. No championship, no 30 picks. No, that's not going to be bigger than him being the first round, coming off of the couch, draft day, holding up the jersey. That's Marcus Freeman's biggest win this season, getting that from Ben Morrison. So if we save that by having this surgery now and he can focus on that, then I'm cool with it. Because you can still win with Marcus Freeman being there on draft day with his family, shaking his hand and being involved in producing another top draft pick, not only for him, but for Mike Mickens. Because even if Mike Mickens leaves next year on a defensive coordinator position somewhere, you still have that installment of back-to-back, 2 out of 3 years you put a top 10 corner in the draft or a top 10 secondary player in the draft. So I think that's the biggest gift Ben Morrison could offer this team this year. And if that's still intact, then I don't have a problem with him sitting out.
Like I said, I'm looking here. This is from the Cleveland Clinic, their website. Their specialist.
He went to the Cleveland Clinic for this?
No, I'm reading from their website. It is a 2 to 6 week process to walk normally after hip surgery. Just to walk normally, 2 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, so he should be good by NFL
When
Combine.
you regain full range of motion and strength 6 to 12 weeks.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
yeah,
Yeah,
six to 12 weeks just to regain full range of motion. That puts you right up against the playoffs.
right.
So now he had
That's like we playing a championship type.
yeah. Realistically, he's not gonna be able to come back just from the timeline. He's
And we
not gonna be
talked
able to
about it
come back.
before the season. His dad knows. His dad was probably, "Yep, we done."
Honestly, I mean, he'll be pushing it up against he won't be senior bowl, all that stuff, and he'll be pushing up against the combine. Like, will he really have enough time to? He might just need to wait until Notre Dame's pro day, like work out.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Pro day in March.
this whole thing is coming down to walking across that stage. So if I mean the way players have been treating the draft and the process lately, hell, he may not even, Lamar didn't run the 40, Saquon didn't do nothing, Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't do anything, and they still getting drafted in the top first round. Hell, Jamar Chase took a whole year off. Still was the first receiver taken.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the draft process has been shown as being overrated in some aspects for the top of the top players. And I still think Ben Morrison's one of the top players going into this draft, especially in his position.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his dad talked about this in the beginning of the season. His dad was like, "Yeah, we are taking our time recovering from injury because we know what the bigger picture is at the end of the season, and it aligns with what I felt like is the biggest benefit Ben Morrison can add to this team, and that's being walking across that stage and holding up a jersey with Roger Goodell. And this timeline of this injury fits to that same narrative. That listen, we appreciate, just like Kyle Hamilton, we appreciate all the things you did for us leading to that point. But y'all biggest benefit is being that first round pick, not leading us to nothing because the way we're built, them young boys is ready. They've taken enough leadership and coaching from you. It's time to get them reps as a youngin. So when they get to their 3 years, 3.5 years, they're ready to do the same thing. This is how you keep that process in that room activated. We do it well with tight ends.
Yeah.
Hell, tight ends be 3 and out. Tommy Tremble was 3 and out. Jeremiah Love be 3 and out in the running back room. So I am totally okay with Ben Morrison sitting out. Now that does raise the expectation of our young guys, our Riley Moores or Leonard Rileys or Leonard. Shit.
Leonard Moore. Leonard Moore.
I'm not gonna lie, Leonard Moore.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Let's talk about that. How I want to say, is he the one guy on defense that you would say we can't lose? At the beginning of the year, if I'd asked you, this is the one defensive guy you can't lose on this team,
Ben Morrison?
Would it have been Ben Morrison?
No, it was Xavier Watts.
I would, yes. At this,
Xavier Watts is a guy that we need the whole season. Can't Ben Morrison is a great. I mean, he did great for what we've asked him to do, and it goes back to sometimes players max out their usage at school. Like you played above what we expected you to play, of what we wanted you to do. Everything else is just extra credit. Like Audric Estime, his whole second half of last year was extra credit. That was for him. Because we could have got the Jeremiah Love train going a lot earlier last year. But out of respect to Audric, we let him win a couple games, let him kill a couple terrible teams we played and, rack up the rushing yards in hopes that he would get the Walter Payton Award or get in the conversation. He didn't even get that. So, he overplayed and overachieved. I do think that's a thing. You can overachieve. Some players do. Will Fuller overachieved. Zach Martin overachieved. Jalen overachieved. Which is why we shouldn't have got him hurt in that bowl game. I think looking back, I wish he would have sat out. But, I do think Ben Morrison's maxed out his potential for what he can do for the team, and now his greatest potential is getting drafted. So I'm all the way cool with it. And then like I said, I'm really excited for those young guys. There's a reason why this secondary unit has been the highlight or one of the highlights of the team is because the young guys, included with the older guys, have meshed well, and they both you can see the vision in the process for those young guys. Those young guys turning into those vets that can get drafted. You see the flashes of potential. You feel good about moving on.
Yeah.
You know, like running back, we felt good about moving on from Audrey. We felt good about moving on from our tight ends. We felt good about moving on from our Joe Alts and Blake Fishers, and because Charles Jackson being healthy, I'm okay with that. Going from Joe Alt to Charles Jackson, that's a good move. Like,
Yeah.
I am quite all right with that.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be something that's staggering to our defense. Now, losing Xavier Watts, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna have a little bit of issues on just the overall execution and play. Because I do think the safeties are coming up, maybe not as Xavier Watts is an impactful player. Like, he is a game changer. He flashes on the field, flashes on your TV screen, where safeties are, Don's having some good plays, but just an overall need to be like, this is the reason why our secondary unit is what it is. A big piece of that is Xavier Watts.
This is why, and this goes to, I think, NC Notre Dame fan. I forget who said it in the chat, but the Jay Mickey situation, nothing changes, man. If Jay Mickey was going to choose team over his personal goals, he would still be on the team. So to think now that there's a conversation to be had, like, we need you, no.
Let him move on. Let some guys move on.
And the fact that his move, part of his move, a part of his reasoning in the move is that the young players were coming. They were coming. He knew it.
Not an old player moving out, young players coming up.
Why waste a year of eligibility to give yourself 2 years for your next destination to do what you need to do and to show your wares? That conversation doesn't change one thing. This is where I would say Benjamin Morrison might not even be the second most important player on the defense. Let me tell you why, love.
No, I agree with that.
I agree with your assessment that Xavier Watts is one. Jordan Clark is number two. Jordan Clark has locked down the nickel. He has been a blitzer. He has gone when injury hit during the Louisville game. He went and played corner. Like, he's done his versatility and his ability to play multiple positions is going to be critical for Al Golden to continue to do what he wants to do.
I would say Drake Bowen is two or two.
No. Drake Bowen has not been as consistent as Jordan Clark. From the start. No, left stop. Drake Bowen has some
these last 3 games.
You just said the last 3 games. Jordan Clark, from the first snap of the season, has literally been one of the best performers every game.
Okay.
And the versatility of this specifically to the Ben Morrison. Let's say they say Jordan Clark, go play Ben's spot. He can do it.
He can do it.
He can do it.
He can do it.
Let's say they say, we're going to have you and Leonard Moore. We don't want to give Leonard Moore all the snaps.
All the snaps, right.
And Georgia Tech has to speed of receivers. So we don't want to put that pressure on him. We don't want to change Christian Gray from the field.
No, Christian Gray gotta stay.
Stay right there.
He gotta stay.
Right? Leonard Moore, we'll work you into the boundary, right? Because he played field when Christian Gray couldn't go for Louisville. The person that went to the boundary was Jordan Clark. Yes. So now you can put Jordan Clark into the boundary. You can have him and Leonard Moore switch off, right?
Yes.
That's basically what you were doing with Leonard Moore and Benjamin Morrison or Christian Gray. And then you can slide a Carson Hobbs into the nickel. Or maybe you can play another young player in the nickel. Or Rod Hurd, who played some nickel. When Jordan Clark went outside, he played some nickel.
And some corner.
Against Louisville. And corner. This is the versatility that Mike Mickens has developed, right? and this goes back to what we talked about. When you go to the portal, what are you going for? Right?
Versatility.
You have to go for impact. Jordan Clark was impact. But then you go and get a kid like Rod Hurd that gives you versatility, that gives you depth, right? Rod Hurd was competing for that starting safety spot opposite Xavier Watts. Adon Schuler put a stamp on that. I felt like he put a stamp on it coming out of the spring from what I saw. And Adon,
that guy coming up after Xavier, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Adon Schuler now is like
he's a ball player.
He's a ball player. This, as much as it hurts because we love Ben Morrison, it's definitely going to be like we love. No one plays man to man defensively more than Notre Dame.
He's like our tenured teacher. Everybody loves Mr. Williams at school. Absolutely. And now it's time for him to retire. It's cool. He's been there long enough. We
But ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Morrison was the third most talented defensive back or cornerback on the team.
Yeah, because it was
talking about just pure talent.
Yeah,
Christian Gray and Leonard Moore.
Leonard Moore, yeah.
Dude, you saw Leonard Moore chase down the quarterback
and pop the ball out
on Saturday against Stanford. Yes, and this we saw that. Then Stanford, he comes off the corner and chases the quarterback down. Dude, you talking about two of the speediest defensive backs being on the field with length? That's what you're about to see with Leonard Moore and Christian Gray. That's what you're about to see. So you don't like that it comes this way, but I'm happy that we have the players in tow to be able to go and do what we need to do.
Yeah, like if we were desperate, this is what I'm saying. We have a deep team because we're not crying at the fact that Ben's done. A lot of teams would be crying at the fact that Ben's done. We're not happy he's done, but at the same time, him graduating in this way, we call it graduating in this way helps the overall of the team. And it's not a necessarily bad or a good thing. He's just graduated to where it makes less drama for getting some of these younger players in the right spots naturally. Right? Jaden Mickey's graduation from the team helped the team flow a little bit better to help guys be more succinct in their roles. Ben Morrison graduating in this way helps the team flow better for guys to get more succinct in their roles. I mean, this is just a natural process because Notre Dame's playing it the right way. And so I wouldn't say the same for the D-line with a Jordan Botelho and Boubacar Traore injury, but for the secondary, I think these decisions have been, if you had to say good or bad, good in the sense that it helps our talent still develop and grow in the back end, which we wanted all along, which we wanted to see happen at the end of the day. They were excited about Christian Gray at the start of the season. Even with Ben Morrison, on the team coming back and all things included. So that's what happens when you have a really prepared and a really well-coached unit. Shout out to Mike Mickens, continuing to follow up great success. So he didn't rely on just Ben Morrison and Xavier Watts, and that was it. He used those two as a launching pad to get greater recruits in, and some would say better recruits. Now these quote-unquote better recruits or more talented type of prospects coming in is the next step. It's the same thing for the quarterback room for a while, how we go from a Steve Angeli to a Kenny Minchie to a CJ Carr to a Noah Grubbs to at one point a Deuce Knight. We're graduating and elevating the talent in the room to where we appreciate the vets, just like we appreciated Maris, who was getting smoked yesterday against the Lions. And we appreciate J.D. Bertrand and all the things that they did, which were really good, but they graduated for the younger guys that we're more excited about. We're not saying that they're necessarily better, but we think the talent can be achieving for something better for the team. where the holes that we had with those guys are filled with younger talent that we won't have those same problems. So I do think that when you have good coaching and a good process, there's nothing wrong with graduating older guys, getting them to a certain point, and then, putting them in a position where they can still get drafted and do their thing and not leave such an empty hole behind them. But we get to see something of a natural passing. The Native Americans used to take their old people out deep into the forest when they got too old and just leave them there. They graduated them. It was a spiritual process, but they didn't just kill them off or put them on Medicare or Obama's health care type thing. They just put them in the forest and walked them deep into the forest, and then they let them naturally pass on. So, maybe that's something that we got going on. I think you're on mute.
That whole Native American analogy.
That's what they do.
Lucky podcast. So, I think I do not undersell the loss of Benjamin Morrison. I would not sit here and tell you, "Oh, we're fine."
No, I mean, we would be good with
no
I mean,
one loses a first round talent at a defensive back position, and you're just, "Oh, it's fine. It's going to be a transition." It sucks.
Not the Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer type of transition, but a good transition.
Yeah.
That Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer is a vast difference. I'm glad people start to see it.
Once again, why do you feel good? I'll say this might sound petty. I think I undersold the injury to Charles Jagusah, and I based that upon the history of Notre Dame offensive line.
Yes. Which you still aren't wrong on.
Which would have been good if Harry Hiestand was the coach.
Been better, yes.
It would have been better for me to stand on that if Harry Hiestand was the coach. That bears watching.
We're using a lot of credit. We're using a lot of our O-line credit this year.
Yes, I used up a lot of historical credit for that.
We had to go back to the bank and get some more credit.
I did. And I undersold the importance of the injury and how important he was, even though he only had one start in the bowl game. That one start still kind of masked the fact that he was the best offensive lineman that they had next to Billy Shroud. The staff says that, people around Notre Dame says that, regardless of whether or not you think he needs to play guard, he was the best offensive lineman they had. So this team literally in the fall lost their best offensive line that just happened to be a red shirt freshman. And I kind of poo-pooed it. And then when we saw pass pro at the left tackle be what it's been the first 5 games, it was like, oh, okay, we didn't know that we had it as good as we had it with a kid that was still learning, but he was physically just a dominant kid in the run game and was infinitely better in pass pro from the jump. Even with his mistakes, he was infinitely better in pass pro.
I don't think
I don't feel that way. Because of Mike Mickens. And that because Mike Mickens is there.
Yes.
Right?
I don't feel that way.
Even though I think it's a huge loss.
Probably from leadership
it's a huge
intangible
loss,
stuff.
Yes, it's a huge loss. But I'm not about to sit here and act like Mike Mickens isn't the coach that evaluates the talent, that is really good. We've seen how good it is. Like, dude, we've seen Jordan Clark make plays. We've seen Kennedy Urlacher make plays. We've seen Luke Talish make plays. We've seen Don Shute. Everybody Ben Minutes played plays on Saturday. We've seen everybody that plays in the secondary where they got the opportunity, they popped.
Yes. And Aeneas Williams, shout out Aeneas Williams. I know he's on offense, but hey, I told y'all about Aeneas Williams.
He's Keegan Young, though. We're going to get to Keegan Young. I know you like Aeneas Williams left, but Keegan Young is coming. He's coming up. When he ran my boy over in the hole, when he ran the linebacker over in the hole, I said, okay,
for sure.
And see, look, and stuff like that. I'll just throw this in there since we're talking about coaching. Like Daniel Anderson, the running back that lost his spot, he's no longer part of the 25 class. You look at those running backs, go watch his film. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. Tough decision. But it's like, look at the 4 dudes I have. Heck, I don't even think Devin Ford fits. I don't even. No. Devin Ford doesn't even fit.
Devin Ford should play special teams. He just doesn't fit the wow factor that the other two got. They're just like, oh, you just don't belong. Like, not that you don't belong, but you don't look like them.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love, Darian Price, they look like something. And Neas and Kendrick look like something. Devin Ford, just like how I felt like Jabron would have been a little bit of like, okay, but we can put something better in there. Like, yeah, you can get 5 yards, okay, cool, but you have a chance to do something bigger with these other backs.
Yeah.
And maybe we like you as a consistent back. You know, you'll have good plays, but you can't do those plays that they do. That's the only difference. You can have good plays, but those plays I don't think you can make. Which is why I think special teams is a great place for Devin Ford.
I mean, the kid was willing to go play safety. He's just one of those, he's a team man. He's one of those dudes you just need on your team that's willing to do any and everything and has the ability to go wherever you need him. And that's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely love him. Jabron Payne will be back next year. I'm not about to sit here and speculate because that's not fair. But that's going to be a loaded running back room, bro. There's some decisions there's some tough conversations that might take place. Real tough conversations that might have to take place. But once again, Ben Morrison out for the year. We don't feel, it's a huge loss. We don't feel that Notre Dame cannot overcome it and still progress defensively because I think they're getting better as a defense. Those young linebackers are getting better. The 2 defensive tackles finally have showed up in consecutive games, played at the level they need to play at. This defense has a chance left. They have a chance. When you can come out and say, look, this front 7, we're coming after you in the run game and the pass game because you can't do anything with our back line. There's nothing you can do. And we're going to tell you what we're doing. We're playing man-to-man 58% of the time. This is what we're doing. We're putting our best player single high. Then we're putting X single high. What you going to do? What are you going to do? That's tough, man. That's tough. When you can do that, and if the front line can play to the level they played, the glimpses we saw against Louisville, the effort we saw against Louisville, and then the dominance we saw on Saturday, you have to feel great. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right. Now, we can talk about the game after that shocking news. 49-7, pure dominance. Game didn't start off the best. Anthony Knapp, not at his best, 2 of the 3 plays on that first drive and pass pro. Drop passes. But I love the way they came out. I absolutely love the way they came out. They came out aggressive. They set the tone. They said, we're going to come out against a team that we know is going to be coming downhill because the only thing they can stop defensively is the run game. That's it. Their secondary is absolutely abysmal. Has been all year, susceptible to big plays, susceptible to the post patterns, susceptible to the crossers. This has been evident all year. So we're going to be aggressive and go after that. I love the way they came out. And even though the first drive didn't end the way we wanted it to end left, I thought they set the stage for what they want to do, which is dominate you in the trenches and run the ball. And in order to do that, they came out and stretched Stanford vertically and horizontally with the passing game. And then When Stanford tried to adjust to that, they said, okay, now we're about to run the ball down your throats. Now we're about to just take your heart. We're about to take your soul right now. And it's not Troy Taylor, after they went up 21-7, he just put his head down because he knew it was over. Notre Dame went up 21-7. He was just like, all right. They're up 2 scores. Now I have to throw the ball. And now that's playing into what their defense does best, which is get after the passer, get after us in the pass game and cover. It was really a dominant performance schematically, from a player standpoint, physically, a talent standpoint, and then just an approach masterful by Al Golden and Mike Denbrock. And then I loved Marcus Freeman's tenure, just his attitude on the sideline left. I loved it. I felt like he was being himself. He wasn't trying to be stoic. He wasn't trying to be presidential. He was, very demonstrative in his players' face, in the face of the referees. Referees were awful Saturday, bro. The call on Ben Morrison, awful. It wasn't passing.
Oh, the pass interference.
It wasn't pass interference. And if you look at the dude, pause it when he's holding the flag before the receiver even turns to run deep.
Yeah.
Like he was waiting. He anticipated. I'm about to call this. It was ridiculous, love.
Because
did Stanford get in on that third down, on that first touchdown, that only touchdown? Did you feel like the quarterback got in?
Oh, when number 8 when he went. I mean, who cares? You know. Yeah, I mean,
should have been a shutout. That's my point. I don't think they got into the end zone at 50.
I thought it was close, but I thought that because they waited too long, it wasn't clear. They gave it to them, but I think because it wasn't close. Like they didn't just come out and throw it up or whatever, that they was gonna give it to, because the time before that he did, and they could have went either way. The time
that was your boy Drake. That was your boy Drake that messed.
Yeah, Drake went there and stuffed it. So I thought I was like, okay, they didn't give it to him that time, but if they did it again, which they did, I'm like, they probably gonna give it to him because it's just too close,
Yeah.
And Stanford probably complained about the one they didn't get in on, because everybody at the first one, everybody was like this. They was like, no. And I don't think he got in on the TV copy, but I know Stanford was like, come on, he got in. What are you doing? We're gonna run it again. Y'all better tell it, Yeah. So they ran it again. I still don't. It was closer, but I still don't think he got in. But it's like, okay, they're gonna say we cheating if we don't give it to him. So whatever, they can take that.
Yeah.
But the number 8 was talking crazy too. He was talking crazy on the little short runs. He was getting up, chatting with the D. I'm like, okay, but
Lamson, the backup quarterback.
Yeah, but beside that, I think that I predicted it. Like I said, Riley for 230, went for 229. Look at that.
Spot on. You were spot on. It was prediction.
It was 3 touchdowns he had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I was dead. I'm talking about dead on. Dead on. But I knew the game plan. Denbrock has to show that yes, we've worked on something in the offseason, in the bye week.
Yeah,
we worked on something. I have to show you that he's not as bad as what has been advertised, and I'm not that bad of a coach. Gosh darn it, I'm gonna find ways to throw the ball.
Yeah,
you're not going to have me hoping and wishing no more. We worked on specific things, and this was the team to do it against. A team with no secondary. Yes, we have to make him look good against a team that has given up the pass. And I think we did a good job of that. Hopefully it builds his confidence. He's still in the press conferences giving bad takes. What did he say? Yeah, guys been open all season. I just haven't been throwing it.
Well, say that. I got the video. I got this. All the Notre Dame fans that want to blame the wide receivers.
I was like, what?
Everybody else for what we saw in the passing game. It came out of Leonard's mouth himself. Oh, I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play. Just give me a second. Wait. I'm going to wait. Because we usually designate a certain segment to the Notre Dame players. But since you brought it up,
man, he just brought it up. Oh my God.
Mechanical issues that, I've gotten a lot better at. And a lot of it's just confidence, letting it rip and trusting your guys. My body, obviously, after the bye week felt really good. And mentally, I did as well. I was able to take a trip back to Alabama, relax a little bit, see the family. And it kind of just gave me perspective on, maybe don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders whenever you're out there playing and just enjoy it. So, yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot.
Speaking of trusting in your guys, you're getting a better rapport with your receiving core. You were able to incorporate a lot of them into the game today. How does that develop?
Yeah, obviously in practice, I think they've been open kind of all year. Just, haven't been throwing it to them, but I just threw them the ball today pretty much, and look what happened. So, yeah, and nothing crazy, right? They've been running routes their whole life. I've been throwing the ball my whole life. Just why not throw it to them?
See, he must be a part of the Democratic Party giving these
answers. You know what I've come to realize, Left? The kid is who he is, bro.
The G Willikers, good golly almighty.
He means no harm by it. He's being absolutely honest.
He took his hands out of his pockets. Now he's folding his arms. Maybe we can get him down to his side in another win or two. But oh my gosh, come on, dude. You played good.
These are his honest thoughts. But I don't like your thoughts, young man. I just don't.
First of all, you went home. You went home. You supposed to stay in the gym. You talking about going home to your small town, Alabama? Why you go home?
He did. It was a need. You know why, Love? You know why? Remember what I said? I don't care about the stats. You were dead on about the stats. I didn't care about the stats. I was like, I just need my quarterback who is a source of strength for every football team. I need my quarterback to play with confidence. However that looks. If you're the third running back in the backfield, run with confidence. Whatever you have to do, play with confidence. He played confidence. So if he had to go home,
cool. All right, cool.
If he had to go home and get new perspective, because we tried to warn him. Did we not try to warn him, Left?
No, we told him.
You can't come here feeling like you could carry the same weight you carry that dude. That's not needed. It's a totally different weight.
Totally different weight.
The crown is heavy.
Because we hate on you when you're winning.
Oh, absolutely.
Now what?
I played a bunch of big games. No. Not like these.
No.
Not like these. No, it's Notre Dame. We tried to warn him. Because you found
out even the small games were big.
And then once he realized, these cats are really shooting at me. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, this is welcome
to not a free ride university. This is not in a couple games.
You can't hide behind you can't hide behind the Duke basketball program.
No, you are center stage the whole time, win or loss.
Yes, sir.
You are the center stage.
Yes, sir.
So I am happy that he got a chance to gain some deeper perspective. Now, I'm not going to give it too much credit because it was a bad team we beat. So
that bad team stuff, I don't want to hear that. You know why I don't want to hear that from Notre Dame fans?
Okay.
When they blew Miami out, they still complain about the process. They still nitpicked about certain plays. They still nitpicked about Howard Cross and Riley Mills. I don't want to hear about the team because you can't have it both ways. Either the process matters or it doesn't. Either the process matters. I don't care who the opponent was. We saw things we had not saw all year from Notre Dame. I don't give a darn who the opponent is.
That's true.
I would have been happy if I saw it in practice, Love. If I was at practice last week and I saw this, I saw wide receivers catching slants, RPOs, deep routes from Riley Leonard, I would have been jumping for joy. I would have been saying, I don't care if it is against the scout team. At least we're seeing it. At least we're seeing it.
My other prayer was answered. Chris Mitchell got involved.
We should have been involved.
Finally,
we should have been involved. Thank you, LeVon Whitaker, for that question during
the week. For the question. Yeah.
How's Chris Mitchell feeling right now?
How about all this? He said, I got to put him in the game plan. Yeah, you do.
I told you, LeVon Whitaker's been on fire. He's been on fire with the best questions all year.
Me and LeVon Whitaker are the Notre Dame Nostradamuses of the team. We just be knowing what should be happening and what should to expect for the next game because we already in tune. I'm already in Denbrock head. I knew he was going to have to use Chris Mitchell more because you wasting the talent. You didn't do all that gassing him up to get him over here to do what he did in the games previous. So, yeah, you got to better start using RPO slants and backside easy stuff to get him involved because he can do it. Yes, you better throw for 230 yards against a team that can't defend the pass because that's what it's going to take to show everybody, yes, we still have that available in our arsenal. It's just not totally taken out. So I do think that our predictions are not so much of predictions, but more of opportunities for us to get better. How do we get better from week to week? That's how we get better from week to week. So Riley doing what we wanted to see just shows that he's in tune with what's going on with the team. He's not totally oblivious to just the pressures and just the things that needed to be added outside of him making plays, running around with the football. I still think though that it's going to be imperative for him to keep it up. Don't just show you can do it just to be like, see, okay, I can do it. Now let me get back to this trash performances. I would like to see him stack days and hopefully do better than 229 and 3 touchdowns. Can we get a something similar and maybe less rushing yards and more trusting of your team? Because that's the trend in which we need to get to. Because if that Stanford game can extrapolate through the rest of the season, that's a total 180 from the first part of the season, which we don't want to see. And we know for a fact is not going to win us that second half of the season, getting into that championship season that we hope to get into, because they still not giving us no credit for getting into that. But it's going to start by you having more games like Stanford and repeat that process against Georgia Tech and repeat that process versus Navy, because Navy obviously is seeming to the world as a tougher opponent, not to us, not to me, seeming to the world as a tougher opponent. But in those games, because of how they're being stacked up and how they're being talked about, Riley needs to do what he did versus Stanford versus Navy. That can put us back on the track to the college football world perspective that we are a threat of a team. We're not just a team that's just going by and by, and just passing along. We're a team that's a threat. So putting the world on notice by showing them what we can do with a Navy team that's quote unquote a hot team right now, whatever you call it, it's still Navy. So structurally, we should be better than what they're doing over there. They're just good at what they're doing. But we're still a more talented team, a better team, more physical team that needs to impose that on them. And Georgia Tech I think, is a great stepping stone, and level of difficulty is turned up more than the Stanford of the week before. And we're playing at the neutral site in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's going to be looked at as a tighter game than last week, but it shouldn't be from our own team's perspective. We should be looking at Georgia Tech like we're going to do the same thing to them, except people don't understand yet because we haven't put this version of the offense, on display to the rest of the world on a consistent level. So hopefully, like I said, Riley goes from taking his hands out of his pockets to crossing and folding his arms. Hopefully he can put him down by his side next week. At least he's standing in front of the podium. Before he was standing off to the side, swaying back and forth, hiding under the table. Now he's even cracking a couple jokes, talking about guys was open, I didn't throw it. To me, that's not a joke, but it's still something that he's just naturally a lighthearted guy, it just doesn't fit the profile of what we need him to be. Like, I don't like it.
I mean, Notre Dame fans have to be sitting there like, what do you mean they've been open?
What do you mean?
You just chose not to throw the ball? I just didn't throw it. It's like, man, look, bro. Look here, man. I'm glad you recalibrated. I am very much a family-oriented person. I use my family to recalibrate all the time. All the time. We have family dinner every Sunday, bro. I use it as a recalibration to laugh, enjoy, and get ready for the week. All the time. So I love that he had that resource and that well. Go home, recalibrate, reset, come back with happiness, and enjoy the ride. Stop allowing the pressure to get to you. Go out there and have fun and play with confidence. All for it. Young man, you cannot step up to the podium.
Stop doing that.
And let Notre Dame fans know the reason, or part of the reason, for the lack of production in the passing game is because you saw open receivers and I just decided not to throw it. You can't do that.
Not even turnover Tommy said nothing like that.
That's honesty, but that's That's being too honest. I'm not saying that's the truth. Yes, that's the truth. That's the flat out truth. But some things need to stay in the film room.
Yeah, because as bad as you played, that's just not a joke to not even know about a joke. But it's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, I think that edge is what is required to be a Notre Dame quarterback, and a lot of it is built through process. So because you didn't have the process and you're not naturally an edgy dude, the personality just doesn't match with what the expectation of their quarterback is in Notre Dame, and that's fine.
And it's a phenomenal. It's coming off of one of the best games we've really seen from a Notre Dame quarterback. I can't think of no, I'll take that back. Dude, because he would have gone over 300 if he played in the fourth quarter.
But it's no different than what he could have did against Purdue. He could have had 80 points against Purdue.
Exactly.
Our starters the whole game.
Exactly. And that
shows why our team is so deep. And we talked about if any one of them quarterbacks, I think if they played Stanford, would have been the same result as Purdue, because Steve played well when he got in there, So it's one of those things to where if the quarterback.
By the way, your boy cost Steve a touchdown. You've been begging for Michael Gilbert to get in the game.
He gonna be all right. He young. He's young. I'll give it to him. But we're not consistent enough with Michael Gilbert. So if we ain't consistent enough for him, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, he need to be more consistent for us.
Stop.
So
You gotta catch that ball.
I get it. Yeah.
Don't stop.
We need to be more consistent with Michael Gilbert.
You're trying to soften the blow for you.
I'm not softening the blow. It's true. Because guess what?
Micah, catch the ball.
Because guess what? Ryan Williams got shut down, but he was in the game.
Catch the ball.
He was in the game.
Catch the ball.
I would put them expectations on a Ryan Williams, because they treat Ryan Williams the right way. They're gonna put him in there every game. He's a true freshman. So when he drop passes, I do that for him.
You just heard the quarterback say he wasn't throwing the open receivers, bro. Like, forget they weren't. If that's the case, you haven't treated Bo Collins and Chris Mitchell and Jaden Greathouse good all year. They haven't been treated well. So how can I expect the freshmen to get treated well? Man, great game, Riley Leonard. Fantastic game.
Good game, man.
You can keep it going next week down in Atlanta. I'm sure your family's going to drive up from Alabama. You're probably going to have 40 to 50 people in the stands. You're going to have all the support you need. Man, the momentum needs to continue. Fantabulous game. I want to make sure I say that.
Yeah, we're not no haters now.
Fans don't get that. Fantastic game. I just need somebody to pull your coattail before you take that podium. Because
the podium is still an issue.
The podium game is
good game, but still your podium in media is still an F. I'm talking. I ain't giving you no D. It's F.
You gave him an F, huh?
F. Because you still which is maybe is that where college football is trending? Because it ain't just him. Kalen DeBoer smiling and all happy and stuff too. Your little narrow win on the hair, your chinny chin against a South Carolina team is going to finish probably the bottom of the SEC.
No, but South Carolina almost beat LSU. They almost beat Alabama. They
will finish at the bottom of that because they don't have a quarterback.
No, they don't.
And Jalen Milroe is getting that's getting tighter and tighter in that pocket.
Well, the problem is they can't get the ball back. Left, their time of possession. The offense can put up points. They just don't have the possessions, bro.
They don't.
Teams that just keep playing keep away. They're doing the same thing with Colorado. Kansas State did the same thing with Colorado. I was shocked.
Colorado had opportunities.
I was shocked Colorado came back and took the lead. The way things
were going. Colorado, man, they're an exciting team to watch.
No, because they do. Like you said, Joe Horn, and that's why you can lose and still be impressive with Joe Horn and Trav on the sideline. For them to make a comeback the way they did, that was impressive. But as you saw on that last touchdown, it would have been great to have Trav in the game. Defending. That's all I'm saying. Riley Leonard had this.
He ain't stopped. Okay, come on.
If the game plan is to attack him in the air than it is to attack him in the air. If the game plan is to run the ball, it's to run the ball. If it's to run the quarterback, it's to run the quarterback. I'm not going to think twice about it. I try to trust the coaches. They wanted to throw the ball around. Obviously, we were getting good looks for that. We kind of knew that all week. So, yeah, it's a great feeling to obviously hear that because you're able to spread the ball to the guys who deserve it the most.
Speaking of a guy who might deserve it, Pat Coogan, you kind of had a
My boy.
front row seat to his first career reception. What was it like being right there for that?
That was sweet. That was a man upstairs, dude. I remember looking over the sideline and like Kenny or somebody just mouthed like, "That's God, bro." Like, yeah, that was God, man. He was on my side there. Great job by Pat. Like, really cool to see. Somebody was saying like some stat or something in the locker room about his completion percent. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, really, really happy for him. This is a guy who obviously didn't start at the beginning of the year, had to come in, and this was the loudest guy at practice, like getting on to the guys who were starting in front of him every single day, like yelling at them because he cared about them so much and he put, the team above himself. So to see him, and his leadership, come to everything that's happened to him so far, it's really cool, man. He's the man, and he deserves everything.
Hey, before I let you go, you be nice. You be nice. You be nice. All right. I had great service. Many people that are watching us when worshiped on yesterday had great service. Probably woke up and prayed this morning. Are really sound-minded people on today. Set to take on the rest of the week. Okay. All right. So we will have no slander of his mentioning of his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this podcast today. We will not. We will not jump in that Uber. We will not. Now you can talk about the rest of what he said.
I'm just saying.
But we leave that man alone. Leave that man. A shout out to Kenny Minchie. Getting the shout out from Riley Leonard.
Did he get a shout out from me?
Yeah, he said Kenny. He looked at the sideline. And Kenny said that was God. Yeah. Michael Campbell, I'm gonna say this. That's one of the most inconsiderate comments I've ever heard. What the heck does being a Christian and being from Compton have to do with anything? As a black man, you should be embarrassed that you put that in the chat.
What is? Yeah, I don't understand.
What in the world does being a Christian and sounding like somebody from Compton? You mean like Anthony Anderson? You mean like Serena Williams? What
does that even mean?
Get that. Matter of fact, leave, man. Get that type of foolishness out the chat.
I don't know.
Type of prejudicial bull crap, man. What the heck does that even mean?
I don't know. Either way, I think it's good to see guys on the team that care enough about the team other than themselves being in a leadership position and getting rewarded for it in the game. That's always the goal when winning is present. When winning is present, everybody wins. It's all good. Everybody feels good winning, and in losing is where, you start to get conversations that happen that you probably don't want to take place. But at the same time, very, very happy at the fact that guys on the team that don't get the attention of being a good leader get some action on game day. That was always my favorite thing to watch. Guys that don't get that media attention, but it's a guy that's a practice player, a team guy, a guy that puts the team first. Because it's easier said than done to do that when you're not playing on a college level. You know what I'm saying? On a college level, when everybody's trying to get to the league, everybody has that back of their mind focus of like, how do I make this about me? To find those guys on the team that that get the love on the game, in the game, that do everything in practice right, that just may not be the go-to player, you love to see that. So I'm excited to see, it's because he's a Dallas fan. That's what it is.
I had to, bro. I can't. That dude, first of all, his comments were absolutely irresponsible. And as a black man,
ban him, Sean. Ban him from the.
yeah, the dude's bringing up Tim Tebow. What the heck does that mean? What are you talking about?
He a Dallas fan, I'm telling you.
I jokingly pointed out after the clip, based upon past things, and dude, he took that opportunity to make one of the most irresponsible, prejudicial comments about black people from Compton that I've ever heard based upon Christianity. When there was no correlation at all. That's what you want to pull from? He's a Christian. What do you expect him to sound like? Somebody from Compton? That's what you pull from? Is your example?
He a Dallas fan. Dallas fans don't know no better. That's why they get smoked at home 47-9. That's why they got a bad built stadium. That's why they got a bunch of the issues they got going on right now.
And then when I pulled two people from Compton, he just totally, it went over his head. I guess Serena Williams and Anthony Anderson are just bad examples of people and how they speak from Compton. Man, let me stop. Kendrick Lamar freaking won a Pulitzer Prize. I guess he's a bad representation of how
you banned him from the.
It's just dumb, man.
Oh, jeez.
Just dumb. No one. It's just silly. I don't like using the word dumb, so I apologize, man. But man. It's silly, man. It is low vibration, bro.
Oh, goodness.
It's just low vibration. Why do we do that, man? Maybe it's because of the election. Everybody's in their emotions and everything. It's just
these Dallas fans don't know how to act, man. I'm trying to help you out here. These Dallas fans have lost their mind. They got one of the worst whoopings since the early 2000s.
Everybody's so uptight though. Nobody can crack jokes. No one can have fun. Everything.
When you're not winning, it sucks. Look, I'm going through it with my little 11-year-old team. Everybody, parents want to fire all the coaches, and the coaches frustrated with the kids frustrated because winning solves everything. And when you're not winning, this is kind of the stuff you go through, man. Wild comments and ill-advised decisions and people quitting and.
Bro, let's get to it, man. let's get to it, man. We can say that for like Wednesday night we're on with KG, bro.
Yeah, where's KG, under a rock somewhere? Because I know he's hiding.
Yeah,
I know his season.
They keep getting beat upside the head week after week. They just Aiden Hutchinson is out for the year. Yeah, it's not going good for him, bro. Well, no, I think Aiden Hutchinson might be back for the playoffs.
It's like a 2-month injury, you know,
because
it's a straight break or something.
Yeah. It's always good to have a straight break rather than a fracture.
That shit hurts.
Yeah. Oh man, you can tell.
Sure.
You can tell the way he grabbed at it immediately, like, oh snap. But no, sum it up.
Yeah, it did snap. It definitely did snap. It snapped in half.
I'm not laughing at it, man. But no. Sum it up, Left. Sum it up. What we saw, your post-snap read, basically brought to you by Notre Whiskey. Sum it up what we saw from the offense.
Y'all need to tune in on every Thursday. Oh no, I'm sorry. Tune in every Friday to Lucky Lefty to hear these predictions because I'm not wrong. I'm going undefeated for the rest. I may be bad on my Sunday picks, and I'm telling you, it's hard to it's killing me on these Sunday picks. But when it comes to picking on Saturday for Notre Dame, I'm your guy. I'm 100% right all the time. But man, these Sunday picks has been tough. But the Saturday picks, however, especially for Notre Dame, I love it from the fact that, you know, the game plan is I'm 1-1 with Denbrock. I already know how he's thinking. I'm in tune with what the team is requiring to take those next steps. That's why I'm critical when I am, because it's obvious to me. It's obvious what we are lacking and what we need to get better in, and how we can project ourselves to be better in the future. But these things that we're dealing with, we don't want to put the veil over everybody's eyes as it's an easy fix. It definitely takes time, which the bye week was good. Gave us time to reassess, break some trends, And we did that because it all comes back to installing confidence or instilling confidence within your quarterback and within your team. And, inch by inch and game by game that you can get a Riley Leonard to be more confident. He's not all bad. I mean, you look at the rest of college football and you see some bad football. You see some guys be inconsistent. So Riley's not any different than them. Hell, Shador throwing the ball 30 yards deep on 4th and 5. I wish they had a better play call. So there's many different mistakes that happen through college football. We just hope that our guy plays with the most confidence and it exudes to the other players on the field to play well. I mean, hell, we still can't go wrong giving the ball to Jeremiah Love. Even in his limited carries, he was still able to get a touchdown like it was easy. Right. So we know that's still a consistent and concurrent theme for us. Give him the ball, let him get a couple touchdowns. He's proven that he can do that each and every game. I think Riley can eat off of that, and he's gonna get his couple of touchdowns running the ball. But however we can funnel that energy into more of the pass game that we're doing, it's just you're gonna see more highlights from guys that we've been relying on, just haven't been able to get it to them, like Riley said, in the game. Bo Collins can get more active. Jaden Grayhouse can get more active. Hell, Jaden Thomas had a touchdown. And when he threw it to him, I thought it was a tight end he threw it to because he's so big. But, it's good to see guys rally around Riley more.
Yes.
I thought they did a better job of that for the time, probably all season, when guys are actually, engaged with Riley and glad that he's their quarterback.
Instead of them feeling like they have to pick him up, now they can play off of him.
Right.
Now they can play off of his energy, off of his confidence. I don't care who the opponent was.
No.
If we can keep doing that,
yes. If we keep
it won't matter who we're playing.
It won't matter.
Because we're more talented than whoever is on the schedule.
Yes, we're more talented than the schedule.
We're more talented than everybody.
Yes.
So if we can do that, just take that mindset, that attitude. You know who Notre Dame played like? You know who they played like? They played like a team that had, because I used to watch this all the time. This is why I can reference this, love. The Bulls would come out knowing they were playing a terrible team. They have a terrible form. We go at the end of the first. Remember Johnny Redcurd. At the end of the first quarter, the Bulls trailed 28-22. And I will flip back to halftime, and they said at halftime, the Bulls lead by 16 over whomever.
Yeah. Over whoever.
Because eventually, it's attitude, bro. Even when you have great process, things aren't necessarily going to yield the best results. That's life. If you can do the right things all the time, and life is still going to bring you some results that you did not expect. But guess what? You keep doing what you do. Because in the end, I'm better. If I just keep doing what I'm doing, we're going to score. After that first drive, hey, Anthony, hey, bro, just do your job. All you got to do is do your job. If you do your job, I'm locked. Wide receivers are locked. Rest of the O-line is locked. All we need you to do is not get pre-snap penalties and protect. That's it. Do the small things. Just compete. Fight. You don't have to be special. You don't have to be Joe Alt. Just compete and do your job. If you can do that, we're going to score points. And that's how they acted. Like, okay, hey, we're good. No panic. We're good. We can throw the ball all over the field on these dudes if we want.
That's what I'm saying. We're good. We're good. We're going to do it.
Just calm down. Let's get back to doing what we do.
I didn't like the fact that he said, "Oh, if the game plan is to throw it, we'll throw it." No,
man.
Game plan has been, what are you able to do, and we figure that out. Which now, hopefully, after this bye week, we can get to what you're saying. If we got to throw, let's throw. If we got to run, let's run. But don't try to hit us with a quick uppercut like, oh, if the game plan has been what it's been the last 5 weeks because that's what we thought was the best way to win. No, he didn't. First 5 weeks, we were trying to figure it out. Now the next 5 weeks, it can be, okay, this is what they're giving us defensively. This is how we can attack them because our confidence is there. Our confidence to go execute the game plan is there because it wasn't there the first 5 weeks.
Yo, what's going on in the chat? Cats boxing? low IQ, man. Look, man, respect each other. All right. I love everything, but just respect each other. That's all we ask. And Adrian Hooks, thank you for super chat, just showing love. Keep doing what you're doing.
I think shout out to Spencer Riley, his first game. I know they got mopped up, but he played well. You know, he played well. So
he acquitted himself well.
Yeah.
KD Mills fan. I can't wait 2 weeks from now. Oh, it's gonna be epic on the lakefront. It's gonna be epic on the lake.
Oh, the Saints played Chicago?
No. The Commanders come in. Oh, it's gonna be epic. The best 2 quarterbacks in the rookie class, the class of the year. That's because I feel like Jay Downs showed him even in the loss. He played
good.
Oh,
Samar, man. Come on, Samar.
I love great quarterback play.
L Jack is out there.
I love what Caleb did yesterday, but it was against the Jaguars.
Whoa, chill. First of all, we just beat the Colts who beat y'all.
Super chat. Y'all done beat us. Wait a minute.
Hold on, no. We beat the Colts, who's in our division, that beat y'all. So we got a division win last week. Something that y'all gonna struggle.
We're doing this by association.
Wait a minute, no.
We beat the team that beat y'all, but then we got scraped by y'all. So
what matters more, division wins or out of conference wins? Okay then. We won a division win last week.
Head-to-head competition. That's what matters. Andy Milton fan for LL on the left back. That's no great work, guys. Super entertaining shows. Question: how we feeling about Notre Dame's playoff chances? How you feeling about the playoffs?
Yeah, y'all got your hands full with all them teams up there. Minnesota undefeated.
But see, when I said that at the beginning of the year, you told me to relax. You didn't believe.
No, I said,
yo,
what?
No. You did not believe in Minnesota at the beginning of the year. Stop. You did not. I said that you were riding Sam Darnold from the jump. Stop. You didn't believe. I told you Minnesota was going to be good. I told you Minnesota had just.
I said y'all will finish last in y'all division, though.
No.
I said who y'all going to beat.
When I said who said this was going to be the toughest division in the NFL?
You said that.
Okay.
I think you got lucky. I think you got lucky by saying that.
I got lucky.
How you know Minnesota's gonna be good?
Because I told you they would be good. What do you mean?
They had Kirk Cousins still.
I said he had Joshua Dobbs fresh off the couch and won 7 games. He can coach. They have a head coach that can coach, call offense. They got
great coaches. Yes,
shut the best quarterbacks in the league down. He shut Burrow down last year. He shut Pat down last year. I know what he can do. And they got better. They drafted Dallas Turner. I told you what was coming, left. I told you.
But I also said y'all be last in the division.
And I told you 3 of the best offensive lines exist in it.
Detroit got a really good one.
Minnesota and the Packers all have good offensive lines. The Bears are the only team that don't. I told you this was coming, left. I told you this was coming.
That's still early in the year.
Y'all wanted to talk about the Bengals and the Steelers. And
the Bengals lost the Steelers are still 4-2, one of the best teams in the league.
What's the best division?
The best division is y'all right now.
Okay, then.
Right now. It's still early in the year.
Lucky podcast. We'll move on because I got to get out of here, love. Let's hear from Marcus Freeman. He gave his thoughts on the big win. This is what Marcus Freeman had to say.
Game, and so you have to prepare for your opponent's best. You have to be at your best when you want to win a rivalry game. It's so important, and our guys were prepared. Coaches did a great job getting them prepared, and they went out there and they executed. And I was really proud of the way we responded after that first series, terrible first series, on all 3 phases. To come out and have a holding as we're moving the ball. We have a holding penalty, a bad punt, and they go down and score. And I said, okay, let's see how this group responds. And from the second series on, man, they played lights out and really did a great job taking care of the ball, defensively, really stepping up and making good plays in the pass game, the run game, and special teams wise. Obviously, wasn't many opportunities special teams wise, but they capitalized off the opportunities we had. So, really proud of this group. Enjoy it tonight. Enjoy earning that Legends Trophy, which is a reflection, as I told them, of team glory. Like, that's what that trophy represents, is a bunch of individuals that commit to something bigger than themselves. And proud of them for that. And we'll get back to work on Sunday and start preparing for our next opponent. So,
I think Marcus Freeman, in a win, his coach speak sounds a little bit better, man. It sounds like he's more focused on moving forward and continuing to train. And I like that, something that Marcus Freeman can hang his hat on. Because honestly, he couldn't hang his hat on much rolling into things, but he's figured out the sauce, and it's all about maintaining. Can we do this again? It's one thing to play great after a bye, but can we play great the week after when teams are catching on to things?
So Marcus Freeman then began to talk about not just this win, but the momentum. Like, can we carry this momentum over offensively, especially offensively? And now with the Ben Morrison injury update, how are things going to continue with the defense? He talked about that post game.
I thought the performance on both sides of the ball, especially offenses, what I challenged them to be, I wanted to be unrecognizable. I wanted you all to watch and say, man, that's an offense that we haven't seen. But our players have seen it. It's just them at their best on every play. And that was what a reflection of what you guys saw. That's what you saw today. And so I thought it was really good, man. They did a really good job. Run game, pass game, making good decisions and taking care of the football.
And then maybe when did you know you wouldn't have Jason Onye, and then when did you know you would have Gabe, and what did you think about his play today?
Yeah, knew we wouldn't have Jason yesterday, and he was out for personal reasons. And then we knew all week we were expecting Gabe to play. And I haven't watched it, but I'm just glad he's out there, and he's going to help this football program.
Man, the Jason Onye news is very, man.
So you take
it's suspicious to me, bro. It's just
I didn't know you can take games off for personal reasons. Like, is he hurt?
See, I don't know if they're masking a conversation that might be taking place, which I don't understand because he's been getting playing time. So I would think he would want to transfer. Did he get in trouble with the university or something? Did he miss curfew? I mean, it's a lot of things that can fall under the umbrella of
Personal reasons, yeah.
So until
Is he like Romeo Doubs up at Green Bay? Romeo Doubs came back and had 2 touchdowns. So
yeah, Romeo Dobbs did that because he knows he's a dude. That's it. Like dog. I say what I want to say. I know I'm going out in this field. I'm gonna put up dubs. I know that. You know that.
Definitely out there got 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I'm the best wide receiver in this room. You don't want your wide receiver acting like that, but he's a prima donna at a prima donna position. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, he whatever reason it was, it don't matter.
Hey, you got 2 touchdowns that came back and forth. It's like my guy.
I love it. Hey, he need to go to Cleveland because they hurting over there, man. They got
Marcus Freeman. I'm right there with you, Coach. I'm all about the process, man. Keep the process going. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope practices continue to be as uplifting and passionate and positive as they've been throughout the bye week. Georgia Tech and Navy, in a sense, have similar style quarterbacks, similar style systems, option type plays, which we saw hurt Notre Dame early in the game. Troy Taylor was trying to get to the edge in the run game. Well, first of all, let's give kudos. He started to go to the perimeter run game, first of all, because he saw Braum hurt Notre Dame with it in Louisville. Copy paste. That's what he tried to do in the game plan because there's nothing else. They don't have the wide receivers. They don't have the throwing quarterback to get it done. They don't have the offensive line to hold up and pass pro. They've been awful all year. So he tried to use the one thing he had, which was his running backs, and he's down to his 3rd and 4th running backs due to injury as well. So with that being said, Love, he tried to go to the perimeter run game, and Notre Dame adjusted. They got hurt early. They couldn't run downhill because Drake Bourne was stacking cats up in the hole. So they couldn't do that. Tried to hit the perimeter. They adjusted. You saw guys like Bryce Young, JT, Josh Burnham make big plays. Shout out to Josh Burnham on the touchdown return. Great read, way to play the quarterback, and then come off, make that great spectacular play and get to the end zone. But ultimately, Left, this is the momentum you have to continue. You're going to face a tougher opponent that can push back even more. They have really good coaches that can scheme you up even more and have offensive and defensive weapons. But at the end of the day, we're Notre Dame and you're not. You don't go in there feeling that because you're arrogant. You go in there feeling that because you're operating in faith. And what did you say about faith before we started the show, Lev? You said fearless is something you said.
Oh, faith loves the fearless.
Faith loves the fearless, right? And then I'll take it a step further. Faith without works is dead. See, faith without works is arrogance. Faith with works, that's confidence. Because even in faith, you know, hey, we still got to go out here and put in the work. And that's what I saw from Notre Dame. A team that knew who they were, believed in it, and was willing to go out there and put in the work. That's the momentum we want to see because we weren't seeing that work. We didn't see the work against Northern Illinois. In parts of the game against Miami, Ohio, we didn't see the work. We didn't see it. Now we're starting to see that faith that they have about how good they can be. Marcus Freeman said it during the broadcast. I'm tired of being a good team. I'm ready to be a great team. That's what he said. Okay, then. We know you believe. Where are the works? Where are the works of you being a great team? And following up that performance against Georgia Tech will be the works that fans need to see to say, okay, we believe too. We believe that this team has an opportunity to become a great team or be a great team, get to the playoffs and make a run or even possibly long shot win a national championship at this point. And even with all of that said, I still believe there's only 2 teams that they can't beat. And it might be down to 1 after watching Ohio State on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. It's really down to 1 because I think Georgia is big.
Well, now that Ben Morrison is out, that matchup against Ohio State will still be tough.
I mean, I think Ohio State has better receivers in the DB group, even with Ben Morrison, just straight talent. Like, I think there's too many talented guys that so
Lefty breaking up. Your connection just went bad. No, your connection is just bad. You're breaking up. Try to come back in. All right. The left's going to come back in. So we said it last week, just schematically from styles, because of their offenses, Notre Dame, and we said this based upon what we saw before the bye. Based upon what we saw from Notre Dame offensively before the bye, Texas and Ohio State are going to score points. They're going to score points against whomever. Maybe not the 40 that we're used to seeing, but they're going to put up in the 20s against Notre Dame. I feel confident that they would. Notre Dame would definitely hold them down and give them everything they can handle. But now, without Ben Morrison, that's an issue stylistically against that wide receiving core. Now that Howard Cross and Howard Cross and Riley Mills are going to play like that, now I don't worry about Travion Henderson and Judkins as much as I worried before the bye. If I'm getting that, this is what I'm talking about. Carry this momentum. If I'm getting that from Riley Mills and Howard Cross, now I feel better. I'll see with these youngsters and how they adjust in the secondary, how that happens. If we're getting Riley Leonard playing like that, now I feel even better. That's why I said I might be down to 1 team. I still feel like Texas is right now, Texas is the best team in the country.
Oh, well, you saw Oklahoma had them figured out for the first couple quarters.
But that's all Oklahoma is, defense, bro. But see, this is what I'm talking about.
I mean, shit, that's what we are.
We just said the great teams, you can only hold them down for so long, bro.
Right.
We saw them put up against the 2 best defenses, Oklahoma and Michigan, that they played. We still saw Texas put up 30 plus against really good defenses, left. That's my point.
Yeah.
At their worst, they're still putting up 30 against really good defenses. You can't expect to hold them to the teens. You're not holding Sark and Texas in the teens, bro. You're not. You're just not. So you have to be able to score. And the question was not whether or not Notre Dame could compete. The question is, offensively, can Notre Dame put up enough points against teams like Ohio State and Texas? That's going to be the question. That's it. That's it. That is it. And they answered it to a certain degree to say we can, but now they have to prove that they can do it consistently against top competition, right? And they really don't face a really good defense the rest of the year, honestly.
We're not facing nothing that's going to stifle our offense to where we're like, oh man, we need Riley Leonard or one of our players to make above reasonable plays. We need guys to just do their job.
Yeah.
And we can get to where we want, because I don't think there's enough talent on defense on the schedule left to where it's like, oh, they got a TJ Watt on their side where they just game record. It's, if we let these teams hang around all day because we're not scoring points, it can get tough.
Yeah.
That's more the challenge for us, opposed to like us having to out scheme a defense because they're so locked down on one particular side or the other.
Right. Lucky Lefty podcast. We're going to try and get back with you guys this evening. Man, I got a meeting I got to get to left. Not the J Mickey news, the Benjamin Morrison news, man, extended the show. We didn't know it was coming, but we had to talk about it, man. It's huge. Riley Leonard, we talked about him. We heard from Marcus Freeman, and it's not about Crown in Texas, man. It has nothing to do with Texas, Georgia. I don't care how the Texas, Georgia game comes out. We're talking about Texas versus Notre Dame. And at this point, Notre Dame's not better than Georgia or Texas. At this point, they're not.
I wouldn't bet on it. That's what I was saying.
No.
I wouldn't put money on it.
No. And this is our first time seeing Notre Dame playing to their highest level of capability. I need to see more. It's not about Texas proving that Texas was just in the playoffs. Texas doesn't have to prove anything. They were just in the playoffs. Notre Dame is the one. Notre Dame has to prove everything. Notre Dame has to prove. I believe Notre Dame would compete with anybody. I don't think it would be a blowout.
Right. I think, we'll compete with anybody.
At this point, I'm talking about winning. Who can we beat? I'm not sure we can beat Texas. I'm not sure we can beat because of styles, just strictly because of styles and what they do offensively. I'm not sure we can beat Ohio State. And everybody else, it'll be a dogfight. Left, you good for tonight?
Yep.
Yeah, we come back tonight, we'll hear from the players, and we'll dig more into this Benjamin Morrison thing and find out what's going on with Jason Onyé. All right? Have a great afternoon, guys. For Left, SD2 mics, we'll see you tonight, because that breaking news just changed the total trajectory of the show. Glad we could talk about it right here at Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a great Monday, and make sure you continue to spend it different.